I want to check in on the balance of everything. Oh, Lord. I want to turn it down just a tish bit more. Yeah, this should be good. Yeah. Just want some nice vibey music in the background. I like some nice vibey music in the background. I get the feeling I have 4 cats and 2 of them look like they're about to start like going at it. They look like they're about to start a fight. One of them is very cute in a bag. Actually, let me intervene in this situation really quick to show you how cute this child looks in this bag. And you done got that. You done got that. So this is our grocery bag. Full of Kitan. Little baby. He's adorable. I'm sorry. I have 4 cats and I'm obsessed with every single one of them. Here you go. You can return to being groceries, Nugget. Blackathon. I had some semblance of a ring light once upon a time, but it always I always end up just looking oily. It does nothing but make me look oily. So we don't tend to... Oh God, I am breaking everything. It's fine. It's totally fine. Leave him alone. Let him play in his bag. Okay. Back to making an absolute mess of everything. Yeah, I have a ring light. It's like a little tiny ring light, but it just reflects off of my skin. That's all it accomplishes, is just shine. And so I don't tend to use it often. But yeah, that's about, but yeah, so I'm gonna just like be washed out by this window that's right there. It's great. It's great. Blackathon reads, I finished the book I read last time. Last time I was reading this book called Her Name is Night. Finished that. And I will be doing a full stream review. I do full stream reviews of the books that I read. I will be doing that review. No worries, no frets. Can I just do this to make it somewhat? Yeah, it's fine. I will be doing a full stream review of it, but spoiler alert, I really liked it, but there's pretty much, I like it with the caveat that if I were to recommend it to anyone, I would pretty much tell them to completely skip anything having to do with the love interest, because oh my god, it was bad. It was not even just insta-love was the issue, it was insta-love, and now my desire to want to have a normal life and like just go out on dates trumps the fact that my family is actively being attacked and poisoned and someone's actively trying to murder my family. And so like, instead of warning said family that, you know, they're in danger or something, I'm just gonna, you know, I want to enjoy my time. I'm gonna forget all of my worries, forget that my family's about to die, forget that they're gonna also probably also try and kill my love interest, forget all of that so I can enjoy a date. It wasn't me. I couldn't do it. I couldn't, just didn't like it. You know, it just couldn't be me. It could not be me, but we will talk about that more in the stream. What my streaming goal is Friday to do the conductors, and then hopefully by then I'll have gathered all of my notes to do Her Name is Night next week. Can't guarantee it because I do also am a bit busy at the moment. I am getting in the process, in the like final throes of publishing book 3 of the Queen of Thieves series. Here are the first 2 books. This is book 2, this is book 1, first 2 books. Those are out, and book 3 is going to be starting pre-order at the end of this month, and so like been super busy with that. Been super busy with also writing. I'm almost done with writing that sapphic autism rep book that I started and am absolutely in love with. I frankly could probably finish it this week, but yeah, super busy, so don't know when I'll get my notes together for that book. But I honestly don't think I have too many notes anyway, so it should be fine. But anyway, the next book that I'm reading, we're not gonna put it on the screen because I got like fucking Master of Jin. I got like a copyright on my stream that I am going to be trying to fight, but last time I think like it wasn't the music, because I exclusively used copyright-free music. I exclusively use copyright-free music, but you know, YouTube doesn't like people. So yeah, I think it was just from having the book cover on the screen, so we're not gonna have the book cover on the screen this time. I'm currently reading The Intangible by what is this person's name? I don't know why I found it so hard to like open that stuff on my tablet. That's not the book. I didn't finish reading though. I did not finish. Oh my god, it's being weird. C.J. Washington is the book I'm currently reading. And honestly, may DNF it. May end up DNFing this book. I'm having a hard time getting into the writing style. I looked at some of the comments and like reviews and stuff, and other people were saying it took them a little bit of time to get into it. So I'm currently, I want to say like 13 to 15% of the way through this book. Let me double check if my Kindle would do such a thing. I don't know. It's appearing to be frozen, which is definitely unideal, but close. Yeah, there we go. That's not how I go home. How do I go home? Exit. Exit. Okay, I'm 16% of the way through this book. Like I don't want to read on for like 25% feels like such a long time, but I feel like 25 is like a good, I gave it my all. I gave it a fair fight. And you know, if it's not it for me, it's not it for me. I feel like that's a fair way to go, you know? So we're probably going to go 25% before, you know, bailing out if that's what we end up doing. But, oh God, this was not unzipped. And I'm stuck. Ah, did it. So yeah, I'm going to try and read to 25%. If I'm not into it by then yeah, I'll probably DNF. Maybe I'll come back to it later. Maybe. But who knows? Okay. Poison Heart. I've seen the Poison Heart. Oh god, that's so small. It's so small. Cool. Hi. I've seen that cover for the Poison Heart and it is gorgeous. I absolutely love it. I want to read it, but it's probably gonna be a minute before I do, because I don't tend to buy a lot of my books. I don't have a ton of money, so I get it from the library, and that's probably one of the ones that's like 2-3 months out for a wait, which breaks my heart. But hasn't the second book come out for that series? I want to say the second book, Poison Heart. Yeah, This Wicked Fate is the second one that came out recently. Also want to check that one out. Oh my god, I completely agree. They're fantastic. Also do love having both of those characters on the, like, I'm assuming they're love interests, but having both of them on the cover for the second one, it's gorgeous. Fantastic. Love that. That's one of my favorite things about like Bookstagram and BookTube and all of those things is even if I can't read the book, because practically I'm not gonna, with the length of my TBR, I'm not gonna get to most of those books anytime soon, but to be introduced to the gorgeousness of these covers, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. Yeah, I completely agree. And I also really like the darker color, especially in contrast to the like greens of the first cover. Fantastic. Fantastic work on both of those designs. I've not read Cinderella's Dead yet. It's been on my TBR forever, but it's definitely one of those things where it was like at the top of my TBR a year ago, maybe longer, but then, you know, just keep adding to it and it gets buried. But yeah, I haven't read that one yet. I heard it was good. I've heard a lot of good things about that book too. Gotta love a fairy tale retelling. Ooh, that was hard to say. Mm-hmm. Oh my god. I tend to read ebooks. I just have trouble seeing. So I like the ability to make the text bigger is really good for me. And the issue with that is that there are so many good ways to get free ebooks. Like a particular favorite of mine is called freebooksy.com. You can sign up and every single day they will send you an email with like 15 books that are free for the day and that are in genres you pick out. And I have so many ebooks now. I have so many ebooks now that I had to stop participating in those emails probably like 5 or 6 months in. Not even that, because I was just every single day downloading like 5 to 10 books, and I have to get through those eventually. Oh my god. But like it depends on the mood. Sometimes I'm in a mystery mood, which I have so many mystery books. Sometimes I'm in the mood for a new release, and those don't tend to be in those emails. Those emails are like indie books, and so sometimes I end up neglecting those books, and then I have more books on my TBR. It's absurd. I have so many books that I need to get to, but then there are also like all of the releases, all of the things that are coming out look so good. But I know myself, and I know I don't have time to read. Like, I have a specific TBR I've set for things that I want to read this year. I'm not gonna get. It's already a ridiculous point, but I keep adding to it. I don't know why, but I keep adding, and I'll tell myself as I add a new book, you're not gonna read it, but I still add it anyway. It's a problem, frankly, at this point. Mm. That's cool that they have graphic novels on there. I I haven't signed up to NetGalley or any of those like ARC apps because I am a slow reader, and I feel like that's a lot of pressure, and that would give me way too much anxiety. I think I've read like one ARC in my life, and it was a great book. It was actually currently one of my favorite books that I've ever read. But like it's just I'm a very easily stressed person, and that just gave me a lot of anxiety, and I couldn't imagine regularly doing that. And especially with NetGalley, they kind of score you, on your ability to keep up with that. So I don't tend to do NetGalley. I have Libby, which is like the library app, and they have ebooks, audiobooks, graphic novels on there. So I use Libby. I just found this app called Hoopla, which is very similar, but I think it has a different library. I don't know if you've heard of Scribd, but it's very much in the format of Scribd. I want to say it probably has a lot more of the selection Scribd does, but it works from your library card. So I just looked into that, and so that's something else I'm checking out. Where else do I read from? Free Booksy. Is that it? Is that my entire reading world? Probably. I currently have Kindle Unlimited, but that's because I paid like $5 for it around Black Friday for 4 months. I heard, someone has told me that there's also a way to sign up for a subscription where you pay $30 for 6 months instead of paying $10 for 1 month, which I want to try and do that as well. Because that makes it much more affordable, especially for someone who doesn't read fast like me. But yeah, no, I have a small pool of ways that I get my books, mostly because I tend to just prefer getting books in free ways, because I also want to try and get into the habit of having of like waiting to buy from an author until I know I want to support that work. I want to get into that habit. Yeah, that's a lot of pressure to keep up with. Uh, I had Audible. I on and off with it. Mostly, the only reason I signed up recently was because it was free and they gave me 2 books, and so I didn't pay for either of them. So I did that, and I just have a series that I started that's an Audible original. But Scribd is different from Audible in that you don't get to keep the books. Libro FM. I will type that in case. So Libro FM is exactly the same as Audible is. Like, you pay the $15 to get a credit for a book that you get to keep. Libro FM is exactly the same as Audible, except when you're doing that, some of the money goes towards you can choose like a local and small bookseller. So I would suggest, if you're looking for something similar to Audible, I would suggest checking out Libro FM. Scribd is kind of described as like the Netflix for books. It's primarily audiobooks. Their library tends to focus more on audiobooks, but you pay your subscription and you get to read whatever book in their library, but you don't have to like wait until there isn't like a certain number of copies in the whole Scribd library, so you can read whenever you want. But from what I do have heard, if you read too many like popular books, then they will like limit your options of what they will offer you until the end of the month. So that is something to keep in mind if you do tend to read a lot with Scribd. But that is an option I know a lot of people really like. I am a little unsure about, frankly, a little unsure about legality with Scribd. I'm not sure if like authors actually get paid from that service. I've heard a lot of some sketch stuff, but like it's with how popular it is, and for it to not be in one of the like 6 like regular fights people have on book Twitter, I assume they do get paid, but but most people seem to also not really advertise to it. But again, I would assume they get paid because everyone seems to know about Libro FN and no one seems to have a problem with it. But I've just heard some like weird things on occasion. But yeah, so that is its own kind of working model. But yeah, Libro FM is definitely going to be a very similar situation and setup to Audible. Popular rule for Scribd is weird. Because I think it's essentially so that way, because I think if like authors do get paid and stuff for Scribd, then a lot of people are going to focus on the more popular books, and they're going to probably have to pay more, especially for a new release. So I think that might be to cut down on you reading the books that they have to pay more for. I think that's what that rule is for. And it's still not ideal. It's like still not a favorite thing. I personally am not super interested in Scribd because I do prefer ebooks to audiobooks. They primarily focus in audiobook, I feel. So I prefer ebooks, as well as I would really appreciate if I'm spending money on like a service to have something similar to like Libra FM or Audible, where I'm spending money to get a book at like a discounted price or something like that, as opposed to I'm spending money to borrow it. I just, because like if I maybe skip a month or something like that, I'd like to know that I still like have like whatever books are set aside in my favorites or whatnot, you know. But it's, you know, it's the options. These are the options we have. These are the options we have. Thank you. It does not show up. It's a lot more purple in real life. I think it's the window that is making it not show up as purple on screen. But yeah, I have like these cheap LED light bulbs that we found on Amazon. So we have those around the house, and I'm a big fan. They were like probably $10 each. Maybe less, because we got 4-packs, and the 4-packs were probably cheaper. Big fan. Mm-hmm. It's really nice to have like colored lights, especially because these are like the color changing ones, and so like to have that ability to like shift them around for whatever mood, especially dimming. I love that I can dim the lights so that way it doesn't have to be as bright in the middle of the night when I'm like winding down. I still need some light, but I don't want to be completely woken up. I love that for me. Like that's my favorite part of having the LEDs. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to like mess around with them. And it's like set specific like colors you want for like this is my vibey color, and then I also have a red that I set up that I usually have for the night because I feel like it's calm. It's because it's like it doesn't have the blue in it, so it's not waking at me up and bothering the circadian rhythm and all that stuff. But and I can keep it a little dark so that way it's some light but still nice for getting ready for bed. I love it. It's this book called The Intangible, and it has to do with it's dealing a lot with, I don't want to say infertility, but specifically miscarriage and like science and relationships, like when dealing with that and stuff like that. And child, I'm currently struggling a little bit to get into it. I'm having a hard time with the writing style, but it's it's interesting what what the subject is and how they're going about the subject. It's just the specific way that it is written. It's a little hard for me to get into. I'm about 17% of the way through, and I'm getting more interested in it, but it's not thrilling me. It's not groundbreaking for right now. But I checked on some of the reviews, and some people said that they also had like a hard time getting into it, but it got better later. So I'm gonna try and get through 25% of the book before bailing, if that's what I still want to do. Hello, child. Okay. I have a baby that wants to come up here, so give me a second. Can you get up here? Yeah, you can. Come here. Come on, Chief. He'll leave you. Come on, baby. There you go. I have 4 cats, and they're all absolutely spoiled. She's my baby Big. His name is Chip. We also call him Chithaniel. We also call him Big because he's a 20-pound baby, and we adore him. He's also such a sweetheart and such a little cuddle bug. Are you leaving? You don't get to leave. You just got here. He's a very affectionate little baby. Yeah. He's so precious. He's such a little love bug. Coco. Coco. Hold on 1 second. Everyone's fighting. And I returned. Just had to turn on a toy for my cats so they would stop beating each other. Because that's not what loved ones do. More sprints of mine, or just in general more Blackathon sprints? Because there are definitely other channels doing Blackathon sprints. I've done one other Blackathon reading sprint the other week. In general, yes, there are like a bunch of other there are a decent number of other channels doing Blackathon sprints. Got it. Yes, I was creeping around in her sprint. I was busy this morning, so I didn't get there until like she started chatting, until they started chatting. But yeah, I was over there this morning. Good times. Yeah. Are you coming up or no? Fussy for no reason, but come here. Oh God! Why did you do that, baby? Yeah. Oh no, my baby! Like, I don't think he was aiming for anywhere, and yet everywhere when he tried to jump in my lap, and so he just didn't make it. My poor baby. Is you okay? Oh, you good? Alright, I have cats and they demand lots of attention. Honestly, what books? I feel like I've honestly always thought I like primarily read thrillers, but I I've been also going through, alongside reading a lot of new books, I have been going through some older things that I read, and I apparently read, like when I was younger, a lot of fantasy, like a lot of fantasy. But I definitely do love thrillers now, murder mysteries. Oh my god, I love a good murder mystery. I I love cozy mysteries too. Just, some kick back, relax, and read. Yo. But so I'm a big fan of like a nice, chill, cozy mystery. I want to. How many? I don't know if I feel like I've read a ton of like murder mysteries that aren't cozy, that aren't like just chill and relaxing. We'll see you later if you make it back before I end stream. Have a nice lunch. Oh my god. What? Let me even look. One of my current favorite like murder mystery series right now is called Diana Flowers. It is about this florist who has moved out into like the country area of England, and she's like solving murders out there, and that's all great, but like the dude in this book, Fergus, he is this smart ass of a guy. He's a smart ass. He's so suave. I'm just in love with him. I am absolutely obsessed. I am in love with that dude. Oh my god. And it's one of the few romances I like in a book where I'm literally screaming as I read it. Hollywood Homicide. I have not read that. What's that? Don't bite my pants. No, no, no. Hollywood Homicide. Who? Who by? Because I'm getting Kelly Garrett and MZ Kelly. And there's a lot of Hollywood Homicides. Never mind. There are a lot of who's the author? Do you know? I've currently got 15 results for Hollywood Homicide on Goodreads at the moment. Okay. Kelly Garrett. Let's see. I'm probably gonna want to read it. Dana Anderson doesn't set out to solve a murder. All the semi-famous mega-broke black actress wants is to help her parents keep their house. After witnessing a deadly hit and run, she figures pursuing the 15 grand reward isn't the craziest thing a Hollywood actress has done for some cash. But what starts as simply trying to remember a speeding car soon blossoms into a full-on investigation. As Dana digs deeper into the victim's life, she wants more than just reward money. She's determined to find the poor woman's killer too. When she connects the accident to a notorious Hollywood crime spree, Dana chases down leads at paparazzi hotspots, celeb homes, and movie premieres. She loves every second until someone tries to kill her, naturally. And there are no second takes in real life. That sounds fun. And there are 3 in the series. 2 so far, the 3rd one's coming. That sounds fun. Ugh, love a good cozy mystery. Yeah, I've not read this, but yeah, that sounds like a very very interesting story. Yeah, no, love a good cozy mystery. I haven't. Let's see, what mysteries would I recommend that I've like truly drawing a blank on anything I've ever read in my life at this point in time. So gonna look through my read books really quickly. So there's this book. It is technically the second in a series, and I would highly recommend you ignore the first and the third book in said series, but the second book's really interesting. It's called Back Before Dark, and this you have this group of kids, and they're at like a park biking around, hanging out, and they see this person like left a like mug or something on their car, and they're starting to drive away, and they want to be good Samaritans about it and be like, hey, let's go tell them that they left their mug on the car. And they dare one of them like, hey, I bet you couldn't like make it up there. And they starting to feel like really like weird about it, because as this person's driving, the mug isn't like shaking or anything, and so they get the car to stop. The person by themselves makes it up to the car, gets them to stop, tries to take the mug off. It doesn't move. It's like glued to the top of the car, and gets kidnapped. And so now you have these kids trying to figure out what happened to their friends, because the police just aren't able to make any headway. And that it's a very emotional story. I thought it was very good. I think it's the author's good at story writing. Just the first and the third book of that series were enraging. They were not good. They were like, it was still good story writing, but the story they were trying to tell didn't work. But the second one was actually like, I read that one when I was in like high school, and then was looked at the other books in the series because I wanted to reread it, and I was like, oh, there are other books. Mistake. But the second one was a really interesting read. Not cozy. I don't need it to be a cozy mystery. That's definitely just a mood of like, I don't want to have to. I just want to be able to chill with like a glass of tea and read mood, versus, okay, I want to be like, I want you to make me make my own little, I don't know if you've seen that like Sunny in Philadelphia meme where the guy has all the lines and all on the board and all of that. Hold on, my cats are freaking out. I will be right back. Sorry, I had to put some on timeout. Yeah, I also definitely love a mystery that's going to make me use every last ounce of brain cell I have. I'm gonna break whatever cord this is. Ah! Hi. Jesus Christ. I'm breaking literally everything. It's fine. I'm sure it's fine. I probably haven't read any Japanese murder mysteries. Is there any like major difference in style than like the like normal, not like cop mysteries. I'm not the biggest fan of those like off-duty cop mystery type of things, but like general, like the United States. I'm just a random Joe Schmo who happened upon a murder type of thing. Is it like different in style than that? Cop mystery, like there's like this, it does make me a little uncomfortable, the number of like those cop mysteries where it's like, oh, if only the law allowed me to beat this person into submission to give me information. That, like, glorifying that, I really have a hard time with in stories a bit. Like, that's what I mean. It's like where they try and make the idea of giving someone civil rights as impeding to justice. I feel like that's a major theme in a lot of like United States cop mysteries. Interesting. I will check it out. Let me... Acclaimed best-selling novelist is found brutally murdered in his home on the night before he's planning to leave Japan and relocate to Vancouver. His body was found in his office, a locked room within his locked house, by his wife, his best friend, both of whom have rock-solid alibis, or so it seems. That does sound interesting. Yeah, I would have no problem with reading like a mystery where the cop is the main character trying to figure something out, except I feel like so many in the United States have that, like, oh, if only I could do whatever I want, if only I could abuse every single person I come into contact with, then I would find justice. That theme is everywhere, and it's gross. It's gross. Oh god, I broke the focus. There we go. It's in a lot of like those types of mystery TV shows too. But I like the ones that I didn't particularly notice it being a big theme in were the ones that I liked were Monk and Bones. That I don't like. There were definitely times in Bones where that could be a theme, but you had the character of Bones who wouldn't cross those lines, didn't want to cross those lines. And then Monk, I don't remember that being much of an issue at all in Monk. Mm-hmm. It was one of my favorite shows. I, though, didn't actually get far into the show. I didn't have like cable and stuff like that, so I was either watching reruns, which I don't think really got past season 4, or I was watching DVD sets that I owned, and I think I only had the first 2, and like after like I grew up, I bought the 3rd season myself, I think. But yeah, Bones and Monk, which I'm like, if I had to guess, I'm fairly certain Adrian Monk is supposed to be like an autistic character, which would explain why, like, finding out later in life that I myself am autistic, that kind of explains, that might be why I always, like, felt so close and just adored Adrian Monk. But that was also one of my, yeah. But that was also one of my favorite characters. That it doesn't have this need to promote the idea that police should have like unlimited power. Is that why? Is that what you mean? Because I wouldn't mind if that wasn't like a thing that was constantly being promoted and pushed for in those stories. It's always, they always put it in the blurb too. Like the tagline is gotta have to break the rules to find the truth or something like that. Ugh, it's disgusting. What other thrillers and mysteries have I read? See, that'd be nice to have them polite. Like, if I would love to see, especially because then you don't have the aspect of you have this like random person who we don't really know how much they how much knowledge they have on these types of things. So it's kind of just so it's hard to know, like, it's different to write their thought processes on these things when you're having just a lay character. So you can have this person that like has the knowledge a police officer like should have for investigating. You have this character that has the tools and the abilities, like someone who can actually file a warrant and be able to enact that warrant, but we're going through with you to find the just cause to get a warrant and stuff like that. I wouldn't mind that. I would not mind having the like just legal process play out, and to see how the tools that are available are used justly to get to the bottom of the situation. Like, that would be super cool. Right? Like, leaning on the intelligence and the analytical skills of the officer. Jesus, why couldn't I say that? Of leaning on those skills of the officer versus straight abuse. Straight abuse physically, abuse of power. Ooh, it's rough. I'm trying to think of what other like thrillers, mysteries I've read. Yeah, I will check it out. I will see. I can see right now if it's available in my library. that is the main way I tend to get books. It is. Yeah, I can definitely add that to my TBR. Libby. Libby's so good. This is honestly how I'm able to read most of the books, especially any book that isn't like super indie. It is read off of Libby. It is a lifesaver. I also recently found out about this app called Hoopla, which is, have you heard of Scribd? It's like, it's still run off of your library card, except the books that are on there, instead of like having to, like, the library only has however many copies, and then you have to pick like one of, and then you have to like wait until a copy is available. Instead of that, it is, yeah, Hoopla. I just found out about that. It has music? That's dope. That's really dope. That is, oh, interesting. I did see graphic novels on there. But yeah, I just found that and spent a solid amount of time saving aside the books that are on there that I really like. I would probably still check out from Libby first, just because Libby, I'm able to like send a lot of ebooks to my Kindle to read them, and that's just easier on my eyes than if I read it on my phone. But if it's gonna be like a 2-month wait, then I can just get it on Hoopla, read it now, and I'll live with it, you know? One by One by Ruth Ware. I probably also have not read that either. I'm not gonna lie to you. I grew up in an extremely white area that, and pretty much everyone from like all the adults, the librarians, the teachers and stuff like that had pretty much convinced me that there, like, no authors of color existed outside of like literal Reconstruction after slavery was quote unquote abolished. And so I, like, it wasn't until like 2020 or something like that I found Bookstagram and BookTube and stuff like that, and they were like, oh my god, hey, there are definitely like authors of color everywhere. And just because I didn't know where to look for any of them, I just hadn't read any. And so I pretty much spent most of my like major reading era, like growing up and stuff, was pretty much just reading like James Patterson, Rick Riordan, Michael Buckley. I loved the Sisters Grimm series. That's a mystery series. It's middle grade. The whole series, right? I was able to figure out each like individual story mystery, which like that isn't something to me that is that determines whether or not the story is good. Like if I figure it out, if I don't figure it out, that's irrelevant as to whether or not the story was told well to me. But I loved every single one of them. The overarching story mystery, I did not see coming. It broke me in every way, shape, and form. I really want to reread those books. I used to have all of them. I also used to have an unedited proof of one of the books, but that's all gone now. But yeah, that was a great mystery series for me. So yeah, I pretty much, most of the books, aside from like the ones I've been reading like the past 2 years, and I don't read fast, so it's not a lot of books, are those like really common, like really common. They were the super big name white authors. No, I really like outside of like the biggest of big name, like literally like the James Pattersons. I really hadn't gotten to read much of anything else. It was there was just those were the ones people recommended, and those were the ones people were talking about. So those were the ones I joined in on, and I like had such limited like knowledge of what books were where and what books were out in the world, which is unfortunate because there's so many better books. I've never read Agatha Christie. I need to, which it's a shame that I haven't. I've never read Agatha Christie. If like honestly, I don't think anyone brought Agatha Christie up in my life until I watched the episode of Doctor Who where they were talking about her. And like until that point in my life, I literally had never heard of her. Sherlock Holmes and Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, yes, but like Shakespeare, yeah, I read Shakespeare, and then I think the other author we read in school was like Night by Elie Wiesel. Literal, like legit, just like books out of the Reconstruction. And Frankenstein. Like we did not read. We had such a poor like range of books that I ended up reading. I read some books literally every year in English that we were required to read books, and then if I was able to just read whatever I wanted, then I like read continuations of these massive series that never end, like Percy Jackson and the Heroes of Olympus. And then I think I read the first Magnum Chase book. Ugh. Yeah, I feel like I did not get much in terms of like even the classic authors. I feel like I did not get much like access to, because we didn't even read like Sherlock Holmes or something like that in school. We didn't read mysteries in school. It was just something like historical fiction. Yeah, it'd still be historical fiction. Like that was primarily what we read. Oh my god, Doctor Who is great. I love Doctor Who. I'm watching with my husband, and we somewhere in the middle of Peter Capaldi's seasons. He's fantastic. Love him. I really want to get caught up because I from what I've heard about this madness that is like this Doctor Who special, like all of the doctors have showed up, like a lot, like half of the companions have showed up, and that would be fantastic to check out. Oh my god. Oh, I completely agree. They absolutely need to. I will say, I think the one 21st century book my school read was The Hunger Games. And it was because the movie was coming out. And so they read that class read The Hunger Games and then went to the movie, and that was their unit. But I don't think I think that was the only year they read The Hunger Games for that class. Just because there was going to be a movie to watch, and so that was like an extra thing to make people want to watch it. Ugh. My favorite Doctors. I haven't seen 13th. Because I believe that is the female doctor. I knew her name. What is her name? What is her name? it's on the tip of my tongue. What is her name? Jodie Whittaker. Jodie Whittaker. I have not seen Jodie Whittaker. My favorite doctors is probably going, like, the order of my favorite doctors from the reboot, I haven't seen the originals, are David Tennant, Peter Capaldi, Matt Smith, and then Christopher Eccleston. I feel like I didn't get a lot of time. I know it was literally just because I think every doctor gets like 2 seasons or 3 seasons. Something like that. I feel like I didn't get to know Christopher Eccleston enough. I feel like I needed more time to bond with him and his character. But yeah, I'm obsessed with David Tennant's Doctor. I think he did fantastic, and I just love how much of an asshole Peter Capaldi is. It's great. Now he just constantly brings out that guitar. Love it. Love it. I think that's how you spell it. That's definitely how you spell Jodie. 2 T's in Whittaker. Whittaker. Yeah, a lot of people really liked Matt Smith. And then I feel like I want to see those seasons with Jodie Whittaker, because I feel like so many people give those seasons a lot of, like, give them a lot of shit. I don't know if that's there's what's actually due to that, you know? I don't know if that's like credible, like a credible actual analysis of the show, or if that's people shitting on the concept of a female doctor, you know? That's always, so I want to see it before I like really listen to a lot of those like comments and whatnot. Matt Smith is adorable. I myself am a hyper independent person, and I felt like I'm a very like hyper independent person, but so I felt like Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi's doctors were a little codependent for me to really vibe with as much as David Tennant. Granted, like, I would literally rather watch any doctor than pretty much most things on media. Like, the show itself and everyone that has portrayed the doctor have done a phenomenal job with that show. So it's like picking my favorites of the best. But yeah, like, and it's also more of the writing and the like way they decide to like craft the personality of the doctor versus anything they did acting wise. But I just personally like couldn't really like relate to them in that way, because they tend to be super dependent on like Clara for both of them, and then Amy versus David Tennant, who I felt like he was very much able to like work on his own and like exist on his own without needing that like extra support necessarily that those other 2 doctors tended to seem to need. Heard. Apparently, what was his name? Like the original showrunner, not original, but like the showrunner from the beginning of the reboots, is coming back for whoever is going to be this 14th Doctor. So that's very interesting. A lot of people are very excited for that to happen. Russell T Davies, I think, is who it is. Is who's coming back? I think that's him. Russell T Davies is the one that's going to be coming back, and then the theories are hilarious. I feel like pretty much everyone has been thrown out as a potential 14th Doctor. And, you know, I wonder what they are, because there's so many people that could do the role. There's so many people, probably more people that would be willing to do the role. I wonder what they're looking for in like what vibe they're going for the next Doctor, what aesthetic. I'm very curious. I have heard rumors that it's gonna be a black woman. I'm not sure. I would love it if they tried for another female Doctor of color as well. And then to have the like first showrunner as well give that support. That'd be great. Oh my god, same. I know I'm American. I can do like a pseudo okay British accent, and I think I could do it, and I think I could do it, especially if they don't want to go British accent and they just want me to be an American companion for once. I would be there. I would answer the call. Let me come through. Oh my god, I would love to be the companion. Right? Because I don't think there's not like a rule against having a companion from a different country. I think it's more just they've yet to do it. Oh my god, I could run. I could do it. I could track star. Let's go, track star it out. I can do this. I'll leave the Doctor behind, man. He has the key to the TARDIS. He can pick me up from where I'm hidden safely. Oh my god. Would love to be a companion. Yes. 3 Musketeers, let's go. It'll be great. 3 Musketeers, we can do this, guys. Oh my god, it'd be so much fun. I'd have so much fun. Although I have heard from like a lot of the people that have worked on the show, it's so, like, not even just time consuming, it's so consuming of everything. Like, of just like a lot of who you are. Like Billie Piper, who played Rose, was just, it's so consuming every time she steps back on that set. Gotta love fan fiction. Oh my god. I wrote like a short it wasn't even a short story, it was more like a short, this would be the like 2 minutes you see before the intro runs for the show type of thing. It's, oh my god, I love this show so much. Honestly, some of it's just so good. The writing's so good. One of them, like, the speech that Capaldi's doctor gave when it was the one where I forgot what the aliens were called, but it was the aliens that had been living on Earth, hidden in like hidden as human copies of other humans and camouflaged that way. And like the speech he gave in the war room in that scene was just like honestly one of my favorite speeches in TV. It was amazing. Billy's adorable. Billy's very cute. Is it just Bill? Is it not Billy? Oh my god, I think I've been calling her Billy this whole time. Bill. I think Bill's story was great. I think the one where she uses her made up memories of her mother to basically save the world. The tears. I think my favorite companions are probably Clara and Amy. I really like Clara and Amy. I feel like Clara, I loved seeing someone that was really like wit for wit with the doctor in Clara, and I loved seeing Amy, who was just commanding, you know, in charge of the like who was basically in charge of all the dudes in the area. She was the last word, and I loved that about her. Did Bill only get one season? Or did she get 2? I'm trying to think. Doctor Who. I can't remember if Bill... Because I also am in... Darn, only one season. Shucks, that's rude. I don't like that. More Bill. I agree. I agree in that I liked Martha aside from like the plot points about her having feelings for the doctor. Those were like a little and like some of the discussion, like the way they talked about it, not that it was bad writing cringe, but like to have her sit here and tell this dude who has in no way like he hasn't in any way acted like he was trying to like flirt with her, and she's like the way she's like, I can't be in this if you're not into me, and it's like, I'm sorry, that's it was cringy. It was cringy to watch. It was cringy to watch someone go through that. Wouldn't wish that on anybody. Donna was also a great companion. Loved her. She was also very... she wasn't really, like, wit for wit with the doctor, but she was tit for tat. She was quippy and sassy and take charge, and I loved Donna Noble. You know, I didn't mind some of the flirting between Clara and Matt Smith's doctor. I didn't mind that. I minded it then. Like that, I feel like that was the one where I didn't mind there being some flirting there. But with Martha, it was a lot. Honestly, with Rose, it also got to be a lot for me. Because I feel like even when Martha had feelings for him, it was a little quieter. Rose was kind of a lovesick puppy, and that was just not the vibe for me. Donna's ending hurts me. It hurt me a lot. Oh my god. Don, as well as like her grandfather. When we lose David Tennant's doctor, that one also hurt me quite a bit inside and broke my heart. Especially because he was like, no, you can just leave me in here. And David Tennant's like, yeah, I could. I'm not going to. It hurt. That one broke my heart. That one broke my heart. Yeah, was not the biggest fan of Rose. She was not my favorite companion at all. She doesn't remember him. She lost all of those memories, all of those, like, their bonding. It's all gone. It hurts a lot. I feel like that hurts more almost than if a character had died, because if the character dies, they at least still have that all that time they spent with the story, and they have all of the memories and all of the like emotions and stuff like that. But to lose that chunk of time, lose that chunk of who you are, feels so wrong internally. It feels so painful. It makes me so sad. Yeah, that one was... Have we seen Rose since she... Absolutely, completely agree. There are definitely some things that are quite a bit worse than death. Oh my god. I also love talking about Doctor Who. It's a great show. 10 out of 10. Ugh, it's definitely one of my favorite shows. I was so mad because they keep moving it around streaming services. I think it's currently on HBO Max, and I hope it stays there. I actually don't know how one would do a watch party. I've seen, like, people say that they do them. Like, I've heard people say that they do watch parties and stuff like this. Like, Jessie from Bow Ties and Books, they do watch parties for their Patreon, but I don't know how they do said things. Like, I feel like I could probably find something about it. I could probably look up how people do it without, I don't know, getting swatted or something. But I don't know how you get away with that. Yeah, I don't know how people actually manage to get away with doing those without, like, is there... Interesting. There's a plugin. Heard. So it just like displays your your browser window type of thing, and then you just play it on like YouTube or something. That feels... Oh, so is it like a thing of everybody is logged in onto their streaming service, and like the plugin allows us to kind of like play pause together though, but everyone's watching it on their own streaming service? Is that what's going on? Interesting. Interesting indeed. And then when they do the watch parties, are they because it seems like they also do them like they're streaming at the same time, I think. Probably so you can like, yeah, maybe? So you can like chat and stuff as the movie goes? Interesting. 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 I should check this out. This could be very interesting. This could be very interesting. Yeah, that sounds really interesting. Yeah, I'm considering making like starting what is it? A watch party. I don't know what I'd watch, and it would probably have to be something I've already seen because I'm very bad when it comes to like wanting to pause and discuss something as I'm watching it. That's why like when I read a book, I have so many notes. I take so many notes when I read a book. But yeah, that's very interesting. I'd have to check that out. Very intriguing. Cool. 'Cause I've never been a part of like one of those, a watch party, because I feel like all of the people that I've seen host them, they usually have it a part of a Patreon or something like that. That or it's a part of that weird like, I don't know if you've seen the like Facebook Messenger shows that you can only watch if you are actually in a watch party for them, which I don't want to like harass people I for the most part barely even talk to just to like check out a show that I may not even be interested in. Heard that would be uber helpful. And then I have my socials should be linked in the description bar, so you can DM me said picture and I can see what all of this magic is. So yeah, that sounds very interesting. I would definitely like to check that out. Again, I have no idea for what purpose I would want to do a watch party, but who knows? Who knows? Yeah, that's super interesting. Yes, my Instagram. That's it. Firestorm2343 is my Instagram. I definitely have the app, and I'm fairly certain I have like notifications for if someone messages me turned on. I in general am not great with social media, so I struggle with keeping up to date with the social media, especially Instagram is particularly hard for me because I struggle with like images and communicating via images, and so it stresses me when I'm trying to figure out what to post on Instagram. It's just a thing that does not click for me at all. But yeah, I will definitely You should be able to reach me though if you messaged me on Instagram. I do check it. I am so fidgety. Somebody wants to send me a message. Hello. Yes. Just got your message. Okay. Since you'll know what I'm talking about. Every time I see, because I just saw it on your feed, every time I see the cover for A Little Life, I genuinely think it's Jack Harkness. Every single time I look and I like, I see it and I think it's Jack Harkness, and I have to do a double take. No problem, no problem. Yeah, I can see that being like a lot of like different inputs for one conversation kind of thing. Definitely, I can definitely see that. Right now, I am reading this book. Let's see. It's called The Intangible by, I think, C.J. Washington. It has a lot to do with pregnancy and miscarriages and relationships with, like, in when dealing with like miscarriages. Yes, it is aloe vera. It is a strawberry lime aloe drink. I also love aloe vera drinks. It's so good, and it has the chunks of aloe vera in it. Fantastic. I have like a stock of them in my fridge at the moment. It's great. But yeah, this book it's interesting. Currently the characters are like this one couple of scientists who like miscarried, and then they stopped talking, and now the wife is looking into multiple reality theories to try and find a scientific way to be able to talk to her dead daughter. And then the other couple is a woman who had a miscarriage, but she has a phantom pregnancy where, like, she's still experiencing the symptoms of pregnancy despite no baby any longer being showing up on ultrasounds and stuff like that. And it's interesting. The writing style is just a little hard for me to get into, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it and trying to really get into it. What are you in? Are you in the middle of reading anything right now? What are you up to reading? Yeah, the concept is definitely intriguing. I'm struggling a little bit with the writing style, but we'll see what happens. We'll see if I'm at like 19% right now. We'll see if at around 25% I get more into it. Who knows? I feel like a lot of people do that. I do not have the mental capacity to keep up with multiple books at once, as well as I don't have the time to read multiple books at once and finish any of them in a reasonable time. This Is My America. Have I heard? It sounds familiar. This Is My America. Yes. I've heard of this book. I think Jesse, I heard it from Jesse doing one of their TBRs? I think it was a TBR and not like a recap. Although it might have also been the Blackathon vlog. Oh my god, that book, Master of Jinn, I just got recommended that book on my Kindle, actually. It harassed me on my Kindle. Because on like Kindle devices, your like sleep screen is an advertisement instead of, and there's no way to turn that off, which is great. This is the second time I saw it. Earlier today was the second time I've seen the ad, and it sounded super intriguing. So I added that to a list of books that I wanted to check out eventually. Yeah, like the title sounds cool. Like the title just sounds cool. How beautiful we were. Hi, Chunk. Wanna come up? Come here. What is this? Here is one of my cats. This is actually my highly anxious kitty. His name is Chestnut. We call him Chonk or Wubba. But he's also a sweetheart. Razorblade Tears is also on my TBR. I've heard so many good things about it. I think the first Agatha Christie book I really want to read is going to be Murder on the Orient Express. I feel like that's like one of the most known from what I've seen. So I want to like check that out and see how that goes. And enjoy that story. That'd be a really fun one. Your booty is just absurd. Yeah. Razorblade Tears sounds so emotional and it sounds so good. I think it is currently actually one of my It's on. I'm fairly certain it's on my TBR. I think it's like one of my 5-star drafts. Let me check. Razor Blade Tears. ¿Dónde está? No, apparently it was not. Shocking. Shocking indeed. No, yeah, Gin City is though. It sounds fantastic. Really, it's your least favorite. Good to know. Good to know. I do also like try to keep in mind, especially in music, but also should apply to books and TV shows and stuff like that, is not to judge the craft and like the creator's abilities based on what other people make popular of them. This is just, that would just be the one that I could probably find more like reviews and more discussions over than some of the other ones. Okay, I get it. I'm like, but is it really that important that you need to tell me you're at 5% battery? I don't think it's that important. But, you're gonna run away when I go get my phone charger. My poor baby. It's okay. It's okay. There he goes. And he's gone. And he's left. My poor child is extremely anxious. He's so cute. He is our youngest cat by I think only 6 months, but he is such a little baby at heart, and he's super, super anxious. So yeah, like the second I started to move, he got stressed and he ran away. He might come back once he like realizes I've settled and I wasn't trying to like smother him with affection, but we'll see. I will let you know. I will let you know. I honestly, I don't know when. It'll probably take a while because I am watching the show with my husband and we don't get a ton of time to like hang out together because work, and oftentimes we work like different schedules as well as like our creative work. He is a streamer, a video game streamer. I write books and do YouTube things, and so don't have a ton of time to watch Doctor Who, but so it'll probably be a while before I get around to the 13th Doctor, but very much want to. What other shows are we watching together? We watch, honestly, a decent amount of YouTube together. Like, we watch some tech YouTube. We watch this gamer called Let's Game It Out, who basically just hops in and destroys video games as fast as he possibly can. Chestnut! Hi, baby. Can you come back? But we watched those. We watched Rick and Morty together. Like, it took us 2 days to binge the 5th season the second it hit Hulu. Criminal Minds, no. We don't watch a lot of those, like, crime and, like, mystery shows together. It's more, like, we typically watch a lot more comedies. He has seen Queen's Gambit. I have not. He was... When did he even watch that? He had, like, a week of vacation or something like that, and he watched Queen's Gambit in like the first couple days. I've not seen it. Come here. I've not, but he really liked the show. I've not seen Schitt's Creek. What shows have I seen? the shows that I watch myself a lot would be like, I'm currently like almost done binging American Dad. We've watched South Park. The shows I watch by myself a lot, I've got let's see. Dollface is this new show that was on Hulu that I watched. It was an interesting show. It's an interesting show. I've watched, and I also watched just a lot of telenovelas, like Spanish dramas on Netflix, like Elite. That one's a really good one. La Doña or Lady of the Gracia. I agree. He has great taste. Yes, we have seen Sherlock. We watched that. Actually, I think we both finished that show before we even met, because it ended, quote unquote, in like 2016. I want to say was when the last episode was out. Yeah. Like, they haven't put out new episodes for that show in ages. But yeah, we both are good fans of that show. I wish there was more. Benedict Cumberbatch did such a good job, and so did Martin Freeman. I wanna come here, Bubba. Come here. Be child. He's so nervous. The Walking Dead. I have not seen The Walking Dead. I was never really into like zombies, vampires, werewolves. None of those things I was really into. No, you're fine. I feel like I probably grew up watching more sitcom-y type shows. So like 2.5 Men, According to Jim was another one I watched a lot of. I don't know if you ever heard of the show Chuck, starring Zachary Levi. That is one of my favorite shows of all time. Animes. He's watched some animes. I haven't watched many, because I pretty much just never really had access to them growing up. And then I haven't, like, I don't know, just, I haven't gotten to, I didn't know Hulu had sitcoms until, like, a couple months ago. And I've also just been struggling with, like, finding media, like, finding anything that I really want to watch lately. I have not seen Golden Girls. I know that is a sitcom. I have not seen that show. I don't know where I would have been able to watch that. Yeah, I don't know, because most of the sitcoms I watched were like on the basic channels of like CW or My 50 TV, which is basically the same thing, or Fox. I don't know if that was a replay on that those channels at the time. Hulu has Golden Girls. They also have the Golden Palace, I think is what it was called. Golden Palace was the what is it called? Not reboot. Spin-off. It was the spin-off with like 3 of the Golden Girls, and then some other characters. I think Don Cheadle is in like the Golden Palace as well. That like they were unreleased, and they released them relatively soon after Betty passed. There are too many streaming services. I completely agree. I completely agree. Yeah, it's overwhelming how many streaming services there are, honestly. I just want the convenience of streaming services, but I don't want to have to pay cable prices. And I also would appreciate it if everything was in one place. Frankly, honestly, I would just pay the cable price if they were at least all in one place, but still the convenience of streaming. I'm sure it wasn't as good. Golden Palace was. I'm sure Golden Palace wasn't as good as Golden Girls. Most spin-offs don't tend to be, and I also don't think they released it on like they didn't clear for a full season. It was just those like handful of episodes that they released, but it was still, you know, interesting to see, you know. Oh my god, there's way too many streaming services. God, I was just finding out there was some show really wanted to watch, but it's gonna be on Paramount Plus, which I don't have, and then Spider-Man, I not comfortable going to theaters, so I was just hoping, yeah, I'll wait the 2 months for Spider-Man to release on Disney Plus. It's going to go to Stars at some point, and then it's gonna be on Disney Plus maybe in 18 months, which I'd prefer not to have to wait that long. But so I'm just hoping, like, whenever it gets a DVD release, I'll probably just try and rent the DVD from like Amazon or something. But oh my god, it is excessive. There's too much. There's too many, and it feels like such a waste because I know for a fact I'm not using every single one every month. At the moment, I'm probably using. I haven't used the other thing. I haven't used Netflix in a hot minute, but I also don't pay for my Netflix. My Netflix comes with my phone carrier, but like, what other ones do I pay for? Like Hulu and HBO Max are the ones that are really the only ones I'm using, and it's because I'm streaming adult animation off of Hulu and then watching Euphoria every Sunday on HBO Max, and that's pretty much just what I'm doing with streaming right now. So I don't want. It's just so much. It's so much. You only pay for Netflix. Do you get Hulu and stuff free? What do you get? Do you get like just a ton of streaming services for free? Because that's great. I am a big fan of Euphoria. I really like it. There were some some moments in the second season I wasn't too hot on, but in general, I think it's a really good show. I'm a big fan. You just pick one streaming service that you. That's fair. That's definitely fair. At the moment, I think I'd pay for 3 if we include YouTube Premium. So we got Hulu, HBO Max, and YouTube Premium are the 3 that we pay for. But that makes sense. Yeah. Ugh, it's exhausting. I know I'm too lazy to do that. Like, I could also probably do that, but I'm just too lazy. I'm too lazy to mentally go through all of that. That's a very like smart way to do it. I really am just too lazy. Like, I wish I was like, I couldn't do it. I have a hard enough time keeping track of finances, but to like actively engage in that way sounds like a lot. Especially at the moment, my HBO Max and my Hulu, my HBO Max is an add-on to Hulu. So that sounds like it'd be a pain to figure out because HBO Max, I don't like that the HBO Max, I can't just pay through HBO Max. That bothers me because it makes it extremely complicated because it's like, it's weird to do it on Google Play, especially because like it's the account information is under my husband's email, but I typically do the finances. So if I'm like, recently my credit card like expired, so I had to get a new one, and I couldn't change anything because it wasn't registering the account from my Google Play. It was like, why can't I just pay through HBO? Why must someone else take my money first? I don't understand. You know what? I'm very upset. I'm very upset that we went away from releasing movies and stuff on streaming as well as in theaters. I'm very salty about it because A, we're still in the middle of a fucking pandemic. Just number one. And B, it was such a great accessibility thing. It was such a great accessibility thing, was to be able to, even if you're paying like $20 or whatever to get a like the premiere access to the movie when it releases, it's still like more accessible for a lot of people, including myself, to go just watch it at home as opposed to go to a theater, and it's salty. Mm-hmm. I'm lucky. I have my husband, so we split our. So we have two incomes, is what I mean, which is super, frankly, necessary. Frankly, like I don't understand how anyone in this country, in this government, think one income is, especially one if it's one at minimum wage, is sustainable for a person's existence. But so that's nice. We don't eat out a ton. My husband likes to cook, and even then, we also just get things that are easy to make at home. So we don't eat out a ton. We also don't shop a ton. We don't like buy things a lot. Most of the money I spend goes towards work stuff like writing and those tools and programs and supplies. My hair is my baby, and so I will put money into that. Our 4 cats, and like other than that, we don't go clothes shopping. We're planning on we're probably gonna have 2 clothes shopping trips a year at most, and it's mostly so we can get discounted winter clothes because this winter was painful. Our first winter, at least like my first in 5 years, his first in 20, it hurt. We weren't prepared. So we don't, and I in particular am extremely cheap as a person, so we don't tend to, so like those are things where we save money in order to be able to be lazy about watching our streaming services and what we pay for. I don't buy a ton of books. I'm trying to get into the habit of checking a book out from the library before, so I can see if this is a book I want to support, because I've definitely had books that I bought and then read and then was very upset that I gave this author my money. And so want to get into the habit of that more. So I typically check out books from the library first if I'm able to. Food is not reasonably priced. Honestly, I had a Sam's Club membership, and that was easily the only way we were able to have reasonable amounts of food in our household. But then we originally got the first year we got a Sam's Club membership. We had a Groupon for it, and it was $30, which really helped as well. But like, being able to buy food in bulk was literally life-saving, honestly. Like, without that, pretty much our only meals at the time, especially because we lived in Hawaii. Hawaii's unreasonably expensive, like unlivably expensive if you're like working just a wage job. Yeah, like the cost for food was unreasonable. We could pretty much only eat chili and rice, and that was it. Like ramen was a treat we could be able to afford, kind of thing, because we liked some like $2 ramens, and it was just absurd. It was absolutely absurd how expensive and how inappropriately priced food is. Like, how are you asking for $10 for a bag of chicken tenders that can barely feed me twice? Like, that doesn't feel like a fair cost. I agree. Spicy ramen's the best. I like spicy shrimp ramens. Those tend to be my go-tos. Spicy shrimp ones. Like, those are. I like some cup of noodles. Like, also there's some that come in bowls right out the gate. Those are also really nice. Mm-hmm. The Shin ramen, yeah. I also really like those. Yeah. The like spicy Shin ramens, yeah. Those are really good. Probably like one of my like it depends on what mood I'm in, whether I'll go for those or like a spicy shrimp cup of noodle. No problem, no problem. I actually probably need to wrap up as well. You take care. Have a nice day, night, whatever time zone you're in. Enjoy the rest of your time. And if you are looking for like a new thriller to read, I do write books, and I have the first 2 books in my spy mental health thriller series are available. These are the covers if you want to see them. These are the covers of the books. This is book 1, this is book 2. These 2 are out, and then book 3 is going to be available. Oh my god, the glare. Hold on. I'm a mess of a human being. The glare. But yeah, these are the books. These are available now. Book 3 is going to be out for pre-order at the end of this month, the 24th. So yeah, those are available. The Queen of Thieves series by Brianna Bond, if you want to check those out. But yeah. I can type in the full title. That is the full title of the first book in the series. And then the second book is Catwalk Criminals. And the third book is Island Affairs. That will be ready for pre-order at the end of the month. I'm very excited. I have very much loved this series and these characters. It's a great time. Spy series deals a lot with mental health. Frankly, all of my writing is very, very mental health focused because that's pretty much all I've gotten. That's all I know. Yeah. So it's definitely a time. It's definitely a lot of fun. No. Like, if there's, like, kissing, there's no, like, nudity, no actual sex in any of these books. Like, there's, like, kissing. I think they're making out, like, with one of them has the intention, but, like, that's definitely, it doesn't actually get to the point of sex in any of these books. Yeah, I don't think it's not particularly a thing I write. No problem. No problem at all. Yeah, you take care. Enjoy your day. I will see you around. Thank you for coming. I don't know if I'll do another reading stream soon, but I will be doing like a review stream of the last book I read, and that'll probably be this Friday, or not the last book I read, the first book I read this year. I'm a little behind, but yeah, that's pretty much the plan, that's the goal, and that's all I have for right now. So thank you very much for hanging out with me, and until next time, valedictions, friends.